I look like a nigga today.
You like a nigga every day.
Thank you. I do.
Welcome back to the Halfway Up podcast, and I call it Halfway Up because you'll never finish rising. And today is a very special day because about 4 years ago, I came to New York City, and when I came here, you know, I didn't have any friends, I didn't have any family. I was pretty much just out here by myself, and it took me a really long time to find friends, or at least to be around people that I could see being my friends one day. And eventually, at some point, I started working at WTF, and when I started working at WTF, I started working with this guy named Billy.
Oh.
And me and Billy started, because Billy is such a natural-born hustler. He's a podcaster, obviously, so that's why he's at WTF, because he's so hungry and so dedicated to his craft. I would see this man like literally every week or at least every 2 weeks. And you got to consider that was when I first got here. Now, I've been here almost 3 years now, and that hasn't changed. So you got to consider the fact that this studio is not free. And you got to consider the fact that, like, everything, you got to pay for everything up in this motherfucker. So the fact that I've seen this guy almost every week, almost every 2 weeks for almost 3 years really just says so much about his dedication and how committed he is to the craft. And that's where I started to respect this guy. But as I got to know him even more, I started to realize, like, no, I really value this person as a friend of mine. And without further ado, I got Billy from 25 and Over Club.
Billy the GOAT, Billy the Kid, Bills. You know, I think this is my first time I ever did a podcast, and an amazing introduction. Like, I think if I ever do someone else's show, they're going to have to top that.
Yeah.
And I don't think they can.
Yeah. That was light.
Yeah, that was light.
That was light.
Well,
I ain't want to do too much.
Okay, well, don't do too much. But next time, I want to see what the medium level look like. And then next time I come back, I want to see the heavy hitter. No, save the heavy hitter when I win my awards.
I got you. Or just next podcast.
Yeah, but then...
Next podcast.
Oh, but when I have my awards, you're going to say, E got nominated. Wait, EGOT is
what the fuck is an EGOT? I don't know.
EGOT is Emmy, when you have an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so...
Who the fuck got one of those?
Whoopi Goldberg.
No. Oh, no. I thought you said Oprah. My bad.
Oh, no, come on, no. Oprah don't got that. Beyonce trying to get it, but girl, you can't act. But I love you.
Yeah, she can act.
No, not too much.
But she need more opportunities. Damn, you just said it.
I can say it, though. I'm in the Beehive.
She need more opportunities to act.
Okay, well, shit. She's doing country now, so yeah.
You know who need to act a little bit more? Drake.
No, we saw Drake.
I mean, he's a great actor, though.
I'm not really a Drake fan like that, but is he a great actor?
I feel like the only person you a fan of, bro, is Usher and Beyonce. And then that's it. Like, anything else outside of that, it gets slim for you.
I was thinking about it today. So there's 3 women that really inspire me. Michael Jackson. I'm a huge Michael Jackson.
No, yeah, facts.
But there's 3 women in life that inspire me. And it's Beyonce, Giselle Knowles-Carter.
It's one name I'm forgetting. It's one of the Braxtons.
No, I like her music.
Okay.
Braxton,
okay.
Beyonce, Giselle Knowles-Carter, Wendy Williams, and I'm going to tell this person the next time I see
you going to throw Wendy Williams in there? Like Beyonce and then Wendy Williams? That's crazy.
Wendy Williams is, excuse me? How dare you?
Okay, my bad.
Wendy Williams is the Shade Room. She is the Hollywood Unlocked. Wendy Williams is the reason why people's doing what they're doing today. Okay?
Yeah. I knew about Wendy Williams, but I ain't really know, for real. You know what I mean? I just thought she was just some woman who just talked about gossip all day, which is kind of what she is, but...
She is, but she opened the door. Like, her show was the most entertaining daytime talk show TV.
Right.
I'm going to show you some clips. How dare you?
Right.
So, okay, Beyonce, Wendy Williams, and Weezy. Those are my 3 Weezy WTF. Yeah, because Weezy got the #1 show on Fuse. Hello?
You throwing Weezy in there in the lineup with Beyonce? You ain't got to tell her. She going to see the clip. Hey, yo, her head is going to be so inflated. She going to be like... For real.
Yeah, so those are my 3 most inspirational women in my life.
You know what? Since we just showing love to Weezy, I definitely got to give Weezy and Mandy a lot of like heavy credit as far as like women who played heavy roles in my life, because it's like, damn, like where would a nigga be without them, for real? Like they really set the whole situation up. Like,
listen, shout out to Horrible. Wait. This how real it is.
Yeah. You got the fucking hat on. That's fucking crazy. Even when we not working the show, it's like it's still a part of it, you know?
Think shout out to Weezy and Mandy.
Bro, it's crazy. Like this whole, so we're going to get into the outline in a minute, but like this whole studio, like this shit would not be possible without Horrible. And that's not to like minimize Alex's portion to it, because of course, this shit definitely wouldn't be possible without him. But then you think about like Horrible being like a fucking like a popping ass legend.
Yes.
I mean, damn, but he kind of helped them get their shit popping too, though. So I mean, like I said,
without those three.
Yeah, without those three, you know what I mean? So shout out.
Big three.
Yeah, shout out to Alex.
Shout out to Alex,
Weezy, Mandy, man. Shout out to all them, man. Man, them girls changed my life, bro.
What's the last horrible decision you made?
The last horrible decision I made, I don't think I can say on this. I don't think I can say on this microphone here, sir. I can tell you off mic, but I don't think I can tell you right now. But listen, the reason why we're doing this episode today is you gave me a really good idea. Yesterday, we were actually recording another podcast, and it was cool, but I think me and specifically everybody else in the room, we were like, I think there's somewhere else we can take this. There's a better place we could take it. And then you gave me a really good idea. You was like, well, why don't we talk about anxiety? The reason why we're doing this episode is because one time you were doing an episode about like 2 years ago, and you were explaining that like you were going through some symptoms of anxiety. And I was letting you know, like everything that you were saying was so spot on. I could relate to everything that you were saying. And you was in a room full of people and nobody really understood where you was coming from. They just couldn't relate to you. But I was so excited to let you know, like, nah, nigga, I feel you. Like everything you saying, I've been through that before. And so that kind of just inspired what this conversation is gonna be about. Like we're just gonna talk about anxiety and what that's been like for us.
It's been a bitch.
Yeah, it's been a bitch,
and
bro.
I have an episode, I had an episode called Dear Anxiety, I Want My Life Back. Because at one point, it took over, and I didn't know how long it was going to take over for. Yeah. And I remember asking you one time, like, does it ever end? And I remember asking someone else that too, and they was like, it doesn't end, but it slows down. And I remember you said something kind of like the same thing. Yeah. So I always put that in my head, like, because when I first met you, that's when I first got it in 2020.
Yeah, you was fresh in it. I was fresh in
it, like still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, like having panic attacks. Yeah, still, yeah.
And I learned that it ends eventually. It doesn't end, but you still catch a symptom every once in a while.
That's the thing.
The panic attacks, I would thank God haven't had one in a very long time. But the symptoms I still get, and I'm able to calm myself down. Like, nigga, that's the anxiety.
Yeah, yeah. Because now you know what you're looking at now.
Yeah.
At first, it kind of feels like something is happening inside of my body. It feels like a powerful energy. You know how to recognize it now, but when you don't know how to recognize anxiety, it feels like something is really wrong with you. Like I remember when I first had my anxiety attack, it was a lot of things running through my mind. Like I was like, yo, am I having a heart attack right now? Like, am I having a stroke? And so once you live with it, because you keep, unfortunately keep having anxiety attacks, now you start to understand like, okay, quote unquote, technically you can't die from this.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Those are my trigger words, heart attack and stroke.
Those are my trigger words too. Anytime I low-key, like I'm such a hypochondriac, bro. Anytime I feel some shit, I'm like, am I about to fucking die, nigga?
Today's the fucking day.
Yeah, bro.
And you taught me that. Like, that's what also we related to. You said you was a hypochondriac, and I was like, what's that? And then you explained to me, and I dived into it, and I was like, nigga, that's me too. Like,
that's me
I
all
think
day.
Any sharp pain, I said, oh, well, here's my moment.
Yeah.
It's bad to think that way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to think that way. I don't want to manifest that for me.
Nah, for sure.
But, it's the when your heart just start beating a
just
little
doing
bit,
anything
like,
irregular.
Why are you doing that? Like, what's going on with you? Or if you start to learn the symptoms and you start to realize, okay, like when your fingers go a little bit numb, it's like, ooh, what can you start squeezing your fingers? Can I feel this? What is going on? And that's the scariest part, because no one really understands it. And when you're just sitting there, well, it's more than a mind thing. It's a physical thing that goes through your body.
Right.
Like, so, like they say the symptoms are similar to strokes, right?
Is that what they say?
Yeah, because, you start to feel the numbness. You ever feel your body go numb?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but those are some symptoms. I don't want to trigger anybody.
No, for sure. Yeah, trigger warning. Yeah, but like you said, it's very similar. And I want you to finish, but it's like, before I knew what an anxiety attack was, I thought I was having like a stroke or something like that.
I went to City MD.
Don't ever go to them.
Never go to them. I went to them several times, and they was like, I come and tell them, like, I think I'm having a heart attack. Like, I think I'm having a heart attack. And this is during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So they're just like, sir, they did the what's it, EKG?
EKG, yeah, for sure.
They was
Same
like,
thing.
your heart looked good.
For sure.
And then I'm like, but I kept on coming back so much. They was like,
bro,
I think you just need to see a therapist. And I'm like, maybe.
Really?
And I did tap into a therapist. But it's those symptoms that make you, and then my pressure is high. Your anxiety makes your pressure go up.
Of course.
And I don't think doctors really understand that. They just want to say, oh, you have high blood pressure.
Of course.
And then I'm like, oh, okay. Now, boom, that's the hypochondriac. I'm feeling all the symptoms. Is it because my pressure is high? Now I'm in my head. Now all these thoughts are twirling. And
it becomes a domino effect. Your thoughts really get away from you.
They don't really tell you like, oh, it's anxiety, and these are the symptoms of anxiety. They just want to say your pressure's high. No, nigga, my pressure is high because blah, 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 blah.
It's like, I don't know what it is about doctors, but it's like they don't care. Like anxiety is like so on the lower end of the totem pole to them that it's like, well, nigga, you're not bleeding. You're not actually having a heart attack. Okay, like take 2 of these, call me in the morning. You know, like they sent me home with like, they gave me like a little Valium pill or whatever, some shit that didn't really work. And then like, it was the same thing. Like, so you living in New York where this is happening. I'm living in Dallas. I keep going to the hospital. My first time I had a panic attack, I called an ambulance, bro. You know what I mean? I called an ambulance and they didn't end up taking me. But, you know, they were just like, you just having a panic attack. And then, but I had to keep going because it wouldn't stop, bro. And every time I felt like my life was literally in danger. So, after a while, I kept going. It was like, okay, cool. So we're gonna give you like a prescription, and what they gave me was like Zoloft or something, which is antidepressant drugs. But it's like, but I'm not depressed though.
Right.
But that's the thing about anxiety. Like it's such a underserved medical problem that they don't even really have proper medication for that shit. So they just give you something that's designed for something completely different just to shut you up.
Yep. Remember them giving me medicine for anxiety. First, they gave me medicine for high blood pressure. And this might be bad, I don't know, but I stopped taking the medicine because I don't believe.
I stopped taking mine too after a while.
Yeah, I don't believe I'm taking medicine for high blood pressure. Like, why am I taking? I believe it's the anxiety. And when I come see y'all, my pressure is going to rise, right?
Shout out to you for doing that.
And then, and that's still like a trigger warning for me too, because it's like, damn, what if I really should be taking it right now?
Yeah,
but I don't.
It's tough. That's a tough decision.
You know? So right now, God didn't got me this far. You feel me? But I am gonna work on my health. I was gonna do a little depression state where I just ate food and everything for a little bit. I'm gonna focus on my health for this year, and then see what the results say.
Yeah,
because the doctor told me, he was like, "Oh, you're supposed to be 178." And I was like, mister, that's the white people chart. Show me the black people chart. Because 178, I don't want to be that. I want to be like 200.
Yeah, that's your ideal weight.
Yeah, that's my ideal weight. 178. What the fuck that look like on me? You feel me?
For sure.
So then they gave me the antidepressant medicine. I just feel like it made me worse. And I was like, I'm not taking it.
Same.
Like, well, cut it in half and take it, and then baby steps, and then my stomach was hurting, and this, I don't want it no more. So
when I was taking the medication, I felt like I couldn't feel my heart beating. Like it had numbed me out so crazy. And so I guess technically like I wasn't having anxiety attacks anymore, but when I put my hand on my heart, I couldn't feel my heart beating, bro.
Yeah.
And it just started to throw off my vibe. And so I came to the conclusion where you came to, which I really want to like give ourselves flowers real quick, because that's a tough position to be in when you go to a doctor and you ask them for help and they tell you this is what you need to do. But in your body, instinctively, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And so you're in a strange place. It's like the professional said, do this, but my heart is telling me this is not the way.
Right.
And I eventually stopped taking the medication, and I'm glad I did, because I found my own way to get through it. I explored different options, getting more rest, trying to cut down on my stress. I had to stop smoking weed, stop eating certain kind of foods. But it's like that takes strength to take a risk on yourself when the doctor, who these niggas went to school for this, they making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, whatever, you think that they know better. But then it's like sometimes when it comes to my life, like maybe the doctor don't need to have the last say so.
Yeah, I feel like when I went to, you just said something, I had to stop smoking weed because now my heart is beating a little quicker. And when I was smoking weed before, bro, I used to smoke so much
I was smoking heavy, bro.
I used to smoke at least 3 eighths a day. And
3/8 a day? You was smoking.
I was smoking.
Yeah.
Woke up. I knew how to roll. I really know how to roll back then.
I can't tell the way you just did. You breaking the guard down.
Yeah.
I'm
breaking it down.
Say less.
I don't need a crusher sometimes. I like those nuggets because I got 2 more eighths in a day. Put the little razzle dazzle.
What kind of weed you was smoking?
I was smoking the crazy shit, I guess.
The crazy shit.
I think my anxiety attack came from because I told my weed man one time, like, bro, like, the last batch wasn't hitting. So whatever you did last time, I need that batch to be good, right? And I think he secretly sprinkled a little crack in it. And that's what triggered my anxiety. And I've been saying that for years because he sell crack too. And I think he does.
Okay, so let me tell you, when I called the ambulance that one time, they would tell it my mom was there type shit. It's funny, my mom was on a date and she wasn't home. And I literally called her and I was like, Mom, I need you to stop what you're doing. I need you to come home right now. And she like, what are you talking about? It's like, Mom, I feel like I'm about to die. I don't know. And I'm like, if I ever say that to somebody, they gonna take me dead ass serious because it's like, nah, this nigga's not fucking around. Right. So she stopped her date, came, you know what I mean, called the ambulance.
Did he go on a second date with her at least?
Yeah, they rocked after that. He was over my shit though. Yeah, he was over my shit because we was in the house after the ambulance had left, and she was like holding me, like I'm grown, and she was like this is my baby for real, and like she was like holding me like this, and I'll never forget. I looked up, the nigga was looking at me like. Yeah. Like, he didn't want to be a hater, but at the same time, he was like, yo, we dead ass had to stop our whole fucking date. And you know that nigga was paying. Right. But yo, like, when I called her and I was already in the ambulance, so she put up, she was like, that's my son. Like, are you okay? You know, she was scared. You know what I mean? She was nervous. I don't even know if it played out like that, but in my mind, it did. But then the guy was saying, like, yeah, we've been getting a lot of calls like this, and it's all weed regulated. Like, they've been spraying the marijuana with something. And so, yeah, it was my anxiety started because of, I don't think it started because of weed, but
weed had something to do with it?
It had something, it started with weed.
It started with weed. And I think I try to dabble in it every once in a while, but I automatically become paranoid. But my first anxiety attack was, I don't know where it came from. Mm-hmm. I just knew I had like chest pains or something. All right, no, it goes before that. So I didn't know what it was. I remember sitting on the Long Island Railroad. That's a train in New York.
Real quick, let me define anxiety real quick, and then you go into that because that's you actually beat me. You on the outline? I see you, bro.
You know, I was trained.
All right, so look, the definition of anxiety for people who don't know is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So that makes sense. Mm-hmm. A desire to do something, typically accompanied by unease. A mental condition characterized by excessive apprehensiveness about real or perceived threats, typically leading to avoidance behaviors and often to physical symptoms such as increased heart rate and muscle tension. Okay, now that we got that out the way. Your first time having an anxiety attack, which was the first question on that line.
In 2020,
yeah.
Remember, it was a pandemic. And I'm on the train, and I just feel like my heart is pounding quick, and I didn't think anything of it. But it felt like I was in a time lapse and like it was just past, lifetime was passing by. And I don't know, I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, I felt like I was a cartoon or something. So I was like, I didn't think anything of it. But then I realized, oh, I smoked earlier. Maybe that's a new side effect.
Right.
So then I smoked again. And then right here, my chest was hurting. So I'm like, okay. And I remember laying in the bed with the person I was dating at the time. And I'm just like, something don't feel right. So now I got, how you got to get up just to move around.
Oh, God. You know them moves. You be you just stretching your back out and shit like, am I good? I'm good.
I'm good. Let me see what that is. Yeah. So now I get up and then I'm pouring ginger ale. Mm-hmm. Pouring ginger ale. And I'm like, I feel like my body's tight. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then I go in the room and I'm just like asking a question. But instead of asking a question, I couldn't get the words out of my mouth. And I'm like, call 911. And my heart just started pounding real fast. And I just remember like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't see nothing. All I could hear him saying, breathe in, breathe out. In that moment, I thought I was dying. I didn't know what was happening. My heart was pounding. I couldn't see nothing. I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? And I don't want to be dramatic. I just literally said, this is the end. Like, the way my heart was pounding through my chest, like, boom, 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 boom. That's what it felt like. The way I just heard it, that's how the fuck it felt. And it was just like,
exact same way.
What is going on? It's like, it's not stopping.
I felt the exact same way.
It's not stopping. And they like, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And it was like, all I remember is like hearing his voice, but me just praying to God, like, please, God, I'm not ready to go right now. Please, God, I still got so much to do. Like, let me live my life.
Mhm.
And then the ambulance came, and it was like, oh, you just had an anxiety attack. It's a pandemic. It's happening more. The girl down the block just had it. And it's like, okay, well. And the only reason they brought me to the hospital because my pressure wasn't going down.
Mhm.
And when I got to the worst hospital in New York City, the Jamaica Hospital.
It's in Queens?
Yeah. They was like, yeah, you could go home. Your pressure's high, but it's all from anxiety. And from there, that's when my anxiety went on the roller coaster because it's like, all right, I never had pressure high before. So now you're telling me pressure high. Now,
and when you say pressure, you talking about high blood pressure.
High
yeah.
blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm thinking, okay, now I'm about to, my pressure's high. Let me see the symptoms of high blood pressure. Oh, I could be having a stroke now. Oh, I could be having a heart attack now because I look up symptoms of a heart attack. Oh, that's me having it. Instead of looking up symptoms of anxiety to where, you have those things where you have a headache behind your eye. People relate that to your pressure being high, but in reality, it's also a symptom of anxiety.
Anxiety, damn.
And when I explain that to people, like, oh, I have a headache behind my eye, they're like, oh, the first thing when they go to is, oh, you could be having a stroke soon.
Of course.
And it's just like, nigga, can you? And I don't expect you to understand what I'm going through.
Right.
But that's not what I need to hear. You feel me?
It just seems like when you have an anxiety attack and it's something that nobody else is going through, it's almost like anxiety really exposes your friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss that a little bit later, but yeah, my first time having a panic attack, I was with my homies. We was smoking weed. We was in the studio per usual. Niggas is smoking weed, bro. And then I get ready to head home, bro. And I'm heading home. I take the bus. I get on the bus. And, bro, I don't know what it is, but I started to just feel, man, it was so long ago. I'm trying to think about it, but like, I'll spare the details and I'll just get straight to what I actually do remember. I got to a point where I was on the bus. My mind was racing. I knew something felt wrong, and I kept trying to tell myself to just chill, just relax, like try to calm down. But because I was feeling something happening inside of my body, it was hard for me to calm down because it's like mentally I'm trying to tell myself chill, but physically I feel like something's moving in my body, like my chest is getting tight, and I'm getting scared.
It's right here.
I'm getting scared. I'm getting nervous because I'm thinking like, when you're healthy, you're normal. And I don't feel normal right now. So that means I'm not healthy. That means something's wrong with me. And so as we know now, your anxiety is like a snowball effect. It's like it starts small, but if you don't get a control over your thoughts, it becomes a bigger and bigger thing. And so this was a fucking avalanche happening in my mind. It was like my thoughts was way too far gone. I remember that, and I was dumb high, bro. I remember I got to a point where I'm on this bus. The bus is filled with people, bro. I'm just trying so hard to act normal, but in this inside, I'm fucking panicking. I'm fucking losing my shit. And like, it gets to a point where every time my heart beat, I feel like a wave of energy like dispersed through my entire body. So it's like, boom, boom, like.
And you can hear it in your ear.
Bro, my head, my ears, my shoulders, my feet. And it doesn't feel good, bro. It doesn't feel good. And it's like, boom, boom, a wave. I'm just like, and I'm just thinking like, so what I ended up doing is I think I got off a stop early. I just got off, period. I didn't even know where I was. Like, I wasn't even nowhere close home. I just need to get off, bro. So I got off. I don't know what I ended up doing. I think I probably was like, calm down a little bit. And I was like, okay, get on the next bus or something like that. Got on the next bus. Finally made it to the train station. Thank God my apartment was right next to the train station. So I got to walking from the train station. The train station is like a really long street. Before you get to the main road, you can like walk to where you need to get to apartments and shit. And before I could even make it to that main street, I just called my mom. I was like, Mom, like, I think I'm about to die, like literally. And she like, what? I'm like, I think I'm about to die. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm crying and shit. I feel like I could feel teary-eyed right now because it was so scary, bro. It was so scary, man. And essentially, that was my first time. The ambulance came. When my mom came there, I was already back there, and I'm asking them like, "What's wrong with me? Am I gonna die?" You know
bro, I remember being in the ambulance, and I remember just being so dramatic, like
for sure.
I am, and I'm just like, if y'all didn't come any quicker, and the guy was like, probably not. I'm like, thank you. And I just remember, but in my head, I really wanted the question, but also in my head, I'm like, I want to be a movie scene. So I'm like,
oh, hell no. You different, bro. You different. It's like, if I'm going to go out, let me go out with a bang.
So I remember just sitting there in the ambulance, and first I was mad because he wasn't running red lights.
Was you sitting up like that?
Yeah, I was sitting up.
I was laying down.
Nigga. Yeah, I was sitting up because I had calmed down already.
Right.
So they I said, would I have died? Nigga just looked at me and I'm just like...
It's like, nah, nigga.
And then now, once you have anxiety, everybody want to tell you what they think anxiety is. And, oh, you don't have anxiety. You just stressed out about shit. And it's just like, you don't have any idea.
You have no idea. You have no idea. Bro.
And now when people tell me they have anxiety, I be like, oh, really? Mm-hmm.
So, man, this is good. This is the one we're supposed to do. I'm telling you, this is the one we're supposed to do, bro, for sure.
You know what? God made us do it yesterday?
Yeah.
To say, oh, y'all got to do this.
Yeah, for sure. That's really what it was about. It was just for you to say that and be like, oh, yeah, let's talk about that. Because, like, we bring in actual value to people, and it was just some scary shit. So, my next question to you is, physically, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but let's just kind of, like, rehash it again, though. So, it got its, like, own segment. What does anxiety feel like to you physically? Like, when you somewhere, you at work, you chilling with your friends, what starts to happen in your body physically where you start to realize, like, oh, I'm feeling anxious?
Sometimes there's a lot of different things. Sometimes it's you feel your body become a little jellyish. Like when you walk, you just feel like sometimes I feel like my body's on auto plane. You feel me? So I just know I have to walk because I'm walking, but I don't feel like I'm inside my body.
Because are you in your head at that point?
I'm in my head. And you already know the snowball is starting to turn into a fucking ball.
You trying to chill, trying to keep it calm.
And your chest is hurting, so a lot of times I used to go like this.
The core, man, barely. You talking my language, bro. Chest, like, doing this. This is my MO. I'm like this.
Yeah, because it's just like, what's going on?
Yeah,
if it's about to be a heart attack, let me move it out the way.
Let me shake it off, you know, maybe a little. Yeah, facts.
Damn. Or you just, it's just something like your chest start to get a little bit tighter. You start feeling your body go a little numb.
Yeah.
And it's all your body reacting to it. Your body just going into fight mode. What else is it that I feel? You know,
those are good ones already.
In the moment, those are the things when I start feeling the snowball. But when I know I'm overthinking or stressed out, I know I get the headaches or the pains, or you know, once in a while I get a little sharp pain. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, why am I getting that? So it's all those things that make me believe that I'm a hypochondriac, because why am I getting a chest pain? Because I'm overthinking. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, same, bro. Definitely tightness in my chest, for sure. I think that's the first sign. And once I start to feel the tightness in my chest, then it becomes the game of, can you control your thoughts for me? You know, because once I feel that physical cue, because it's a cue of like, you're not necessarily, you're anxious. Now, the part that's confusing to me at times is sometimes I can genuinely tell you that I am having a good day.
Yeah.
And I am fine. And I'm not having negative thoughts. But then sometimes I feel my chest get tight.
Yeah.
And I don't know what caused that, but now I'm aware of it now. And that's when the fight starts to happen. It's like, now that you're aware of your chest being tight because you think it's because of anxiety, can you control your thoughts? And I don't want to say this to be like, to discourage anybody, but like, as long as I've been, like, I think I had my first anxiety attack, like maybe you said 2020, maybe mine was like 2019, maybe. And I've gotten a lot better at it, but still to this day, sometimes I find myself not being as good as I think I should be at this point.
I think you should give yourself a little bit more flowers, because I remember you when I spoke to you, you said you haven't really got a panic attack in a long time.
No, true. No, true.
The snowboarding effect, I think that's just going to be us. You're a Gemini, I'm a Virgo.
I don't want that to be us, though.
It's part of our story. But
no,
I don't want, and what can I say that? We don't want it to be us, but it is us, but we know how to reverse it in a way. To where now we know how to, before we didn't know how to attack it and calm ourselves down.
True.
We had to learn what worked for us.
True.
Just like different things work for different people.
True.
So what works for you might not work for me. I was trying in different ways. I was on the Googler Schmoogler trying to figure out, oh, they said put lavender around your house. I'll put lavender. Maybe the smell of lavender will work. They said light candles. I thought candles will work. You know, I was doing what the internet said, but in reality, what works for you have to find out what works for you and what calms your nerves down. And then when you need to know when the symptoms start, how do you calm them down? Because it took time for me to realize, okay, I'm starting to feel it. Now I can say you're in your head, Bilal. But niggas Bilal. You're in your head. You're in your head. Get out your head. Come on, you're not gonna go through this. And I realized my panic attacks started coming when I'm around a group of people. I'll be damned if I have a panic attack in front of everybody. Now I'm passing out on the floor.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
So does that like kind of help you like get your shit together a little bit more?
Yeah.
It's like like extra emphasis on that fight back because it's like this is not gonna go down like this.
It won't.
Yeah. I feel you,
You
bro.
won't see me on the floor in front of everybody because they're making a scene, and now I'm the talk of the town.
I think my thing is when I've caught myself, and it has been a long time since I had an anxiety attack. I would say I'm on my best run so far, but I think the thing that has helped, because sometimes, bro, I wish I really understood it, but sometimes it's not about my thoughts. Sometimes, like physically, that shit is just like my chest is, and sometimes like anxiety, I like to compare anxiety to like a volcano. Like I'm always trying my best to make sure that volcano doesn't erupt, because once it erupts, then I'm really fighting. I'm kind of losing. I've lost the battle already. You know what I mean? Because you want to do your best to keep it from just like completely blowing up volcano style. Sometimes what my anxiety does while I'm trying to control it is it has like a little short eruption type shit. That sounds mad sexual for some reason. I don't know. But it's like
it did not at all.
It didn't. Okay. Like it has like a short, like instead of it being like a full blown, like, oh, the volcano erupted, sometimes it'll be like a little magma or a little fire come out. And it's like I don't know if I'm making sense. Like it's a feeling of like, let's say I'm balancing a cup, right? I don't want to spill the whole cup. But as I'm moving, sometimes a little bit gonna come out a little bit. Sometimes that happens to me in my anxiety, and that when that a little spills out that cup, that feeling is a very strong feeling.
Right.
And that feeling scares you because it's like, oh shit, like I gotta make sure that this shit don't turn to a full cup being turned over. Like I gotta make sure. What is that? Hold on, let me just make sure.
It just did that?
Yeah, let me just make sure that it's not
okay. This is a good one.
This is a good one, bro. This is a good one, for sure.
You listen, I feel like we're gonna be the next generation of Alex and Weezy and this motherfucker.
Nigga, we already
Me and you, like, bro, we're going to LA for business together.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. And I really appreciate you for bringing that to my table too, because like I really was trying to figure out how I could do, I'm trying to go home and then I wanted to go to the Bay. And I was like, it was going to be tough to figure out how to do both. And sometimes shit be a lot simpler than you think. So when you brought up I'm going to LA, I was like, one, that'd just be some amazing shit to do. I needed that. I need to like get out and like do that for podcasting. But then it's like, it's so close to the Bay. It's like, oh, it makes sense both ways. So thank you for like, because you helped me in a major way more than you know.
Listen, we have a relationship, but right now, I love that we document everything, because 3 years from now, next year, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, we're gonna be in a different spot to where we be like, yo, remember when we did this episode about anxiety? Then now our next podcast in 5 years is gonna be how we made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
From struggling to making money from podcasting.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Having multiple businesses.
Bro. No, it's gonna be different.
Yep.
So let me just tie up that point that I was making. So yeah, physically for me, it's like I'm trying to balance that cup, and sometimes when that cup spill over, it's a very not even spill over, but when like a little bit of the water comes out of that cup, it's a very powerful feeling and it's very scary. And I'm just like, my advice to people, or what works for me at least, let me just say, and stop all these analogies and shit, because I don't even know if I'm making sense at this point. But
you are. It makes a lot of sense. I loved how you described it.
Thank you. What really helps for me is to understand that, kind of like what you said, honestly, like when there's a group of people, like this cannot happen to me right now. I don't have time for this. I cannot allow this to happen. Like, even in my body, I might not be winning the fight the way I would like to, but one thing I gotta make sure that don't happen is that it's go all the way to the top. Mm-hmm. So I might feel uncomfortable in my body. I might feel some things that really make me feel, like the definition said, uneasy. But one thing I'm not gonna do is like allow myself to pass out or allow myself to feel like a victim. That's the thing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to allow myself to feel like a victim, because then it's like, then I'm truly powerless at that point. And what if I'm feeling this way and I don't have nobody to help me that's around?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's why I said I refuse to pass out. And like you said, I'd rather have a panic attack. I don't want one, but I'd rather have one by myself and overcome it than do it in front of a group of people.
Yeah. Because you got to act normal. Yeah. Like, oh, like you niggas laughing and kikiing, and you looking them in their eye and shit, and the whole time it's like, nigga, I'm fucking fighting a war in here, nigga.
I'm just thinking about a time where I was in freaking St. Thomas on vacation, and I had a whole panic attack because, and I remember, people don't know how to deal with it. So now my chest was bothering me on the flight there. My chest was bothering me.
Bro, every time you do this, I'm like, I feel you, bro, for real.
You know?
I feel you.
So I remember the next day we went to do an adventure. They went to go scuba diving, some shit. I don't do that because I don't put God in his water and the creations. What if God want to move the wave a little certain way and when the swag surf and then they get washed away? I don't want to do that. I let God do that by himself. So I stayed on shore. You feel me? I don't want to see SpongeBob.
That's real.
No, I'm up top.
I don't want to see Shamu, none of them niggas.
None of them. Like, y'all go down there and they had the helmets on, walking underneath the water. God,
oh, really? Yeah, I'm good. That's too much.
So now I'm up there by myself. Beautiful thing. But now I'm in my head, like, because it was still like fresh in my anxiety stage. Like, yo, God forbid something happened to me out here. Is the hospital's good enough? Why am I thinking about that on vacation?
Yo, but that's such a thing you would think about. Yeah. Because, oh my God, because like a lot of anxiety is security. Yeah. Like you feel like if you secure, you ain't gonna have an anxiety attack. But if one of your security pillars go away or is questioned, then it's like, oh, I'm not secure? What?
My best hospital in New York is NYU and Northwest.
What if is your biggest enemy when it comes to anxiety? What if, bro?
Bro, I'm past that now. I said, now, how will my family be able to access me? So now
that's real though.
You feel me? And then so now I'm trying to not show that I'm having anxiety or going like this, and you know, and my friend, I'm like, can you come away a game? So my friend was like, oh, we have to guess what we're saying. So she's like, this is the game. And I'm like, this bitch is not helping with my anxiety. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, let's play a game where we're talking. Why are we playing snap the fingers? Do your snaps. Like,
right.
So I'm like, no, like, can we play a game for real? She was like, no, guess what? I'm not. For me, if I say, hey, I'm about to have a panic attack, it's here.
Yeah.
We get it. So it's here.
It's here.
So I can't tell you I'm having that.
Yeah.
I have to get up go in the bathroom, throw up, have it.
Really?
Then, yeah.
What?
Then I'm calling my therapist, like, so she could answer. Now my therapist, and then when she finally, it was a day off. So then I had to call some other number that led me to her, and then she called me, and then she like kind of calmed me down. And it was me being anxious about, this is so crazy, it's me being anxious about, because on my show I always talk about like if I'm dating somebody or in a relationship with somebody, I can't fart in front of them. You feel me? So I read an article while I was on the plane on the way to St. Thomas saying a girl is hospitalized because she's been holding her fart in from not farting in front of her partner. So I was thinking about that like, damn, I be holding my shit in, now I'm about to die.
Are you dead ass right now?
And then, that's after I realized I was bugging, I calmed down.
Oh, yeah, you definitely bugging, bro. That's crazy. You have an anxiety attack because of ass gas, my nigga?
Ass gas. Like, that's you know somebody, you see? So now I'm about to just let it go. Let it rip like Beyblade. Anxiety's a bitch.
Oh, that's insane, bro. That is.
But I had to make sure because, again, your chest is hurting. This is still in the beginning stage. So I'm like, if I got to go in the hospital, are the hospitals good enough? Do they have the 2021 equipment?
Listen, that I can't even stress to you how much I can relate to that thought because I'm trying to think of some other moments where like maybe it wasn't the security factor for me wasn't the hospital, but it was something. Fuck. I feel you though. I can't even stress to you how much I feel you because that's an anxiety kind of thinking where it's like, oh wait, what? That's not gonna happen? This ain't gonna be here? Oh, like it's just I feel you. Listen, let me get to this next question. And we kind of talked about all of these things kind of a little bit, but like we go through the segments to kind of really get in depth with it. But like, how lonely is it having anxiety when none of your friends understand? Like, and for example, you said something earlier when I was telling you about the outline that I fucking hate. I hate when you're trying to express to your friend who it's not their fault that they don't understand and they can't relate. However, let me just give some advice to people out there real quick. If you got a friend that comes to you and they tell you that they're having an anxiety attack, do not tell them that it's all in their fucking head.
Nope.
Do not fucking tell them that it's all in their head and that they just relax, then it'll go away. Because you know what, bitch? I know that. But you know what else? I can't do this shit, my nigga.
No, it's not all in my fucking head. It's in my hands. It's in my legs. It's in my chest. It's in my fucking eye.
Fucking fingertips, my breathing.
Yeah, it's not, okay? So, and you know what else I get that's a symptom? The floaties in my eye. Sometimes I see the UFOs, starships, and stars in my eyes. Yeah. And then you start thinking like, what the fuck is that?
Growing up is interesting.
It is. Now my knee hurts. Now I walk down the stairs in the train station a little different. Like a grandpa at 31 years old.
The floaties is some shit. Like, it's like this is supposed to just be part of my life now.
Yeah, like
as I'm swaying my eyes now, I wasn't paying attention to it before. Yeah. Then I'm just like, oh.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. And
for sure.
Sometimes these lights don't help when you're recording.
Nigga, they help you see it. Like,
yeah.
like when you going through regular, like when you in your crib, ain't no floaties because they're like that light's not there to like bring that out.
Exactly.
But here, it's like, or the broad daylight.
It's like, oh. And I had to get used to that because in the morning, I'm like,
used to it.
I remember my father telling me when I was in the hospital, when I first had an anxiety attack, right? And he's like, I'm like, I see floaties. He was like, oh, that's high blood pressure. So now everybody's telling me shit I'm getting because of high blood pressure.
Is that true, though?
It's my father. Consider the source. This man got his leg cut off. So why am I listening to health issues from you? You feel me?
I mean, I don't know. He got his leg cut off. He knows some shit about being in the hospital.
Yeah. Does he? Because it started with a toe. How you let them take a whole leg? How? Okay. So I'm not listening to you. But now, Weezy, I remember her saying horrible. She see floaties. You see floaties. I see floaties.
I see him now.
Let's go. Like, you know?
Yeah, you are not alone on some shit.
Yeah, so, and, like, don't tell me it's in my fucking head. No, bitch, it's right here, there. It's going in circles.
Yeah, please. If you got a friend and they trying to express to you as best they can, and probably because they're going through it for the first time, they probably can't really articulate what it is that they're feeling exactly. But I'm telling you, the last thing you need to do is tell them that it's all in their head. Because I had a friend tell me that once. And, you know, my problem with it is like marijuana inspired my anxiety. Mm-hmm. And so I got to a point where obviously all of my friends are smoking weed. But I got to a point, again, anxiety thoughts, right? If I would smell marijuana, it would make my chest tight and it would start to trigger me. And in the beginning, I was not in control of my anxiety at all. So it came as it wanted to, bro. And so I had to I would be around my friends and I would tell them like how, like, yo, just being around this shit fucked me up. They never stopped smoking around me though. They never stopped smoking. They never made, at the end they did, closer toward the end, but like they didn't make accommodations for me. So it's like they still smoking in the car.
Right.
They still smoking in the house. They still like they just had. It's like they didn't even consider how I felt, bro.
Niggas say, is that really your friends then?
Is it really your friends then? You know what I mean? And I had to distance myself from them in totality because I was like, this fight that I'm going through is actually so terrifying that I gotta make a choice right now between like not being around my friends, bro. Like I even went so far as like, because I still wanted to be around my friends and also being hard-headed, I wanted to keep smoking weed. I started smoking weed, but I would pop a Xanax first. And Xanax is like, it's an antidepressant as well, but it's kind of like for anxiety as well.
I never had that.
People get high off of Xanax, but that's not what I was doing. I was trying to get a high off of marijuana, but I was going to take the Xanax. I would take a Xanax and then I would smoke weed and then like you know what it felt like? It felt like trapping a shark in a fish tank. My anxiety was the shark and Xanax was the fish tank type shit. So technically that like the fish tank, it's like putting a fish tank in the ocean. Technically the shark can't get to me. Right. You know what I mean? Because it's being contained, but it's still there though.
Okay.
That's what Xanax did. You know what I mean? But then I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm popping pills now.
I was just gonna say, like, I hated the fact that I was popping pills at young, like,
yeah. Like what am I doing?
Involuntarily.
What am I doing, bro? So yeah, the friends, they it was really lonely for them to not understand. And I had to stop hanging around my friends, bro. And again, for anybody that's listening, if somebody is brave enough to come to you and let you know that I'm having anxiety, like create a safe space for them, bro. Because the real truth is they're not telling you just to tell you. They're probably telling you because they're scared and they would like your help. Mm-hmm. And you can't actually do anything, but just your support. They're desperate.
Yeah.
Anything, bros. You know what I mean? It just helps to have somebody understand the fight with you.
I think it's so crazy. Like I remember I was having a panic attack at my grandmother's house, and when there's like a quiet moment and you leave me alone with my thoughts, that's where it's like, all right, now I'm starting to feel everything in my body. Now my thoughts is going. So I remember my grandmother talking to me. I'm already in my thoughts. Panic attack is coming on.
This is recent?
This was like a while ago.
A while ago.
Okay. Over a year ago. I think it was my last one, actually. And she just kept talking. And now I don't have time to slow down my panic attack, so I'm trying to get up. But now it's here. Now the heart is going boom, 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 boom. All the feelings of me feeling like I can't breathe, but I can't tell you I'm having one. Yeah. So I go to the bathroom and have one, and then my grandmother took it so personal, like, oh, you don't want to talk to me? You're upset with me? What did I do to you? Da, da, da. I'm like, I cannot tell you I'm having a panic attack. Yeah, also, tough, my grandmother's from the old generation of mental health is not really a thing. You feel me? So now I come out and I'm like, Grandma, I was just having a moment. And like she kind of, okay, so your anxiety was bothering you? It was just like, oh, you don't understand. But what she doesn't understand, and my mother didn't understand, y'all have anxiety too. Y'all just didn't know there was a word for it. And I see my grandma, there's times where she has one and she doesn't realize she's having one. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you having one, but you just too old school to go get it checked out or let someone tell you that's what it is. Damn. Or even like recently, and it's like, I know we were talking about like doctors diagnosing anxiety attack as high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. Somebody I heard had to get the EMS called for them. And I'm like, what happened? It was like the test was getting tight. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and they was just basically describing the stuff we went through. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, it sounded like they had a panic attack. So when they took them to the hospital, they was like, oh, they had high blood pressure and the doctors are scared. They said she had symptoms of a stroke and a heart attack. And I'm like, no, the girl legit had a panic attack. It sounds familiar. They was like, no, she just got high blood pressure. I'm like, bro. And what they do to send her home and told her she had symptoms of a fucking panic attack.
Yeah, for sure.
And people, so now I'm telling friends that's what she had, and everybody think they know what it is. Like, you don't understand what it is until you have it.
Yeah.
So again, going back, stop telling people what's in their fucking head and be supportive. Because now when they come to me and like, yo, I understand what a panic attack is. Well, don't expect me to care for you now when you didn't care when I was telling you.
Yeah.
Because now I had one friend who didn't like the hookah smoke or the vape smoke because it triggered her anxiety. And every once in a while when I would smoke hookah, I'd be like, wait, does this bother you?
Yeah.
She's like, no, right now it doesn't. I'm like, all right, good. I will work on going this way so it doesn't go in your direction.
And you know, to my friend's defense, I think that was the most they were willing to try to do for me, which is be like, you will blow it this way, but they couldn't, like you just said, if you don't experience it, you just really don't understand. They couldn't have ever really gathered in their mind that like, I can't even be near it at all. You know what I mean? And really, when I reflect back on it, that's really a me problem. I shouldn't, it's a little unfair for me to try to change that many people to adjust to what I'm saying. But like, I really like you sharing the part about your family and your grandmother. Because like when I was saying like, have you ever felt lonely? I was just thinking just friends, you know what I mean? But it's like, I didn't consider like your family and your family not understanding you and like what comes with that.
Did your family understand it?
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
What did they do to support you?
Just whatever they could. Like they didn't understand it themselves. So like, as I was learning, I was being vocal about it. But you know, I remember, you know, my mom, I was living with my mom at the time, and she was willing to do anything to help me. So like if I wanted to eat better, she was like, okay, cool. Like we'll cook around like eating better, and we'll figure out what works best for your body. I never forget a night where I was woken up out of my sleep because of anxiety. And like I was sleeping, and then I woke up and I felt my heart like, and it was, bro, I was terrified, bro.
Yeah.
And I felt so alone because it's the middle of the night. And, you know, even though I'm grown, like I'm in my 20s, like I want to wake my mom up because I would just love to be like, I need some love around me right now, but it's late. My mom gotta wake up, she gotta go to work in the morning or whatever.
For sure.
And so I just remember like getting up, and I was like, fucking, I'm gonna do push-ups, or I'm gonna just do anything to get my mind off, just to distract you, bro. And I was legit scared to go to sleep that night because the anxiety was so new. I was like, bro, what if I die, bro? Like, what if I don't wake up? Because it's your heart.
Yep.
Anytime your heart is anything, it's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking die, bro.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It was to the point where my anxiety was so bad that I was going to the hospital or the doctor like every month just to make sure my body was good. Because if you want to catch something, catch that shit now. I'm too young to die. You feel me? I do need to get back in the routine of going maybe every quarter, but it was my anxiety was just having me, or me being a hypochondriac would make me say, why is my heart being like this? I need to know, hey, your heart is in a good place to where you're not going to have a heart attack anytime soon.
Right.
You know,
so real quickly, we can finish these last couple up pretty quick. What do you think triggers your anxiety?
Niggas. But triggers my anxiety. I know one for sure: when I procrastinate. When I'm waiting for something. When I'm waiting for something.
That's a good one.
Especially when I'm about to do a podcast.
That's
episode.
A goodie, bro.
Thank you.
That's a goodie.
But it's real.
That's real.
When I'm about to do a podcast episode, and I know, like, you know, you book the studio, and you have this time frame that you have to book, and everybody's there waiting for you, but the outline's not done, and you want to make sure it's a good show. So now you're just strolling, like you're strolling to make sure you have a good episode, but the talk is still going because you have to go talk on the couch. So it's just like that pressure of trying to make sure shit is good, or even an assignment for work when you know this is due at a certain time. The pressure of making sure you get that out on time for your boss. Just procrastinating, waiting to the last minute, and being late to things. Like, because I know I'm supposed to be on time. Now it's like, why? I don't know why I wait till the last minute to do shit, because I know the effect. So what I try to do to avoid it is I try to get everything done ahead of time. And I realize like, oh, my outline is done. I'm coming to the podcast with great energy. But I know procrastinating for sure, me being concerned about my health, being a hypochondriac.
Yeah, for sure.
Me, I think this grew on me, being in large crowds, like being in a club or something.
That makes you anxious?
Yeah, I don't like people like that. And it's not so much about liking people. I can only know what I could do for myself. But I don't know what all these other people, I don't know who's crazy in this room. Who's going to shoot this place up? Who's going to move crazy?
That's tough.
And the world that we live in, I don't trust it. I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, that's tough, bro. That's tough. I think the anxiousness is a really, really good one, because I think sometimes because we don't handle what we need to handle, it puts stress on our shoulders later. Because now we like trying to race against a clock. Now we're trying to lift our own disappointment. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's easy to like, it's like you're trying to overcome yourself with anxiety, but then it's like you're putting yourself down to it. You're like contributing to what causes it. So that's a good one, bro. For real. I ain't even consider that. I was gonna say something a lot more simpler and just say that I think which triggers my anxiety a lot of the time is like with what I'm consuming in general, like my diet, you know what I mean? So I realized that when I was vegan, I really didn't deal with anxiety that much, or at least it wasn't as severe. And just because you're vegan doesn't mean that you're healthy too. So let me just say that. I think at my healthiest when I was vegan, I was like, how I feel inside of my body is, I've never felt any better in this body than when I'm like putting vegetables and shit in my body on a daily basis. So I think just not eating right and definitely not getting the right amount of sleep. It's like a domino effect. Like when you don't sleep well, you don't feel well. When you don't feel well, you don't do well. And that's the scary thing about not making smart choices. If I don't sleep well, that means I don't feel well. And if I don't feel well, I don't do well. If I don't do well, that means I'm not doing anything to get me closer to feeling better. And how long am I not going to do well? Because I don't feel well. It's this funny cycle. It's like I could find myself not feeling well for a week. And that means for a week, you're doing things that are not helping you get better.
I love that you said what you consume, because social media. Yeah. When I consume social media, it triggers me. Someone's always dying on social media. Yeah. So it's always a rest in peace post. Bro. And especially if it's somebody's my age, I have to hate see. Especially if it's somebody's my age, I'm like, ooh, what they died from. Please don't let it be a stroke. Please don't let it be a heart attack. Please don't let it be this. But then I always have to tell myself, look how many people live past this age. You feel me? Or like the body image. Like you start getting into your head. It's like social media triggers me to where I've been doing this thing where when I first wake up, I won't look at my phone or touch social media like the first hour throughout the day.
Oh, God. Because it's really dangerous, bro. I literally just made a TikTok about that this morning. Like I opened up my phone.
Sorry, that was dope.
Yeah, thank you. I opened up my phone after I did that piece of content. Then I opened up Instagram, and what's the first thing I seen? Dead bodies. I was like, I can't fucking do this shit, bro. Can't fucking. And that's another thing about anxiety. Like you consume so many images and so many videos on a daily basis, things that you don't even really remember. Like, how many videos have you seen in the span of a week of you just like scrolling through your phone? Thousands, right? These things it might not be on the screen anymore, but some of that shit sticks and it lands in your subconscious, and then you sit with it, you live with it. It plays an effect. You just can't tell. Yep. Like my mom, real quick, I'm gonna ask my last question in a minute, but my mom would ask me, when I lived with her, she would ask me all the time, she would say, Stephen, what have you fed yourself lately? Or like, what are you feeding yourself? And like, what she really means is like, obviously she doesn't mean just food. She means like the music that you're listening to, the movies, the media that you're consuming. Make sure that whatever it is that you're giving yourself access to, it's helping you. It's helping you get closer to whatever it is that you really want for yourself, because it's so easy to just be thinking this is entertainment, but then it's like niggas getting into fights. We come from the World Star era, you know what I mean? Like bitches shaking their ass, niggas getting shot, goofy shit, and then it's like before you know it, it's like I'm getting like a master class in fuck nigga shit. Yeah. And it's okay to have fun and be entertained, but it's like if we don't grow, we definitely not living if we not growing.
For sure. For a long time, I couldn't watch my favorite show, Law and Order, because it was just like not a trigger for me. Yeah. But it made me think of, now I have to watch everybody when I'm outside.
I feel you.
Because you won't SVU me.
Yeah, I feel you.
Not at all, you won't. Yeah. You won't call Detective Benson on my situation. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Wait, so I was watching Law and Order with my grandmother while I cooked, and the food was so good.
Of course you were.
And I told you I got it on my DVR. Yeah. The food was so good, she started doing dun dun.
Swear. That's hard, bro. First of all, you got a DVR in 2024?
Next question.
Listen, so for my last question is let's give some advice for anyone that might be having anxiety for the first time. Like maybe you're a young person, maybe not. Maybe you way older. If you having anxiety way older is even 10 times more confusing. I feel for you if you like grown as shit and you have an anxiety attack for your first time.
When people saying they have it when they're kids, like teenagers, I'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that part be crazy to
That's
me.
scary.
Like they'd be like, oh, my kid's having a panic attack. I'm like, how? Ugh. You know what I mean? So like, let me start. My advice for anybody who's having anxiety, and you're scared, nobody around you understands, they don't even try to help you. Trust me, me and Billy have been through all of that shit. Yep. And what I would tell you is, one, get more rest. It's all the cliche shit, you know what I mean? But it helps. Get more rest, bro. Like try to get in more hours of sleep if you can. Like if you the type of you going to sleep around like 11, 12 every day, but you know you got off at 7 or you got off at 6 or you got off at 8, try to be in bed no later than 10. Just try. Like, what are you really missing out on? Like, just try. You know what I mean? You got to get it every time, but it's going to make you feel better. Get your rest.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, bro.
Trying to get into bed by 11:30.
Yeah, bro. Just do the best you can. You know, like some of us get off at crazy hours, but you do what you can do. Definitely watch your food. Like I realized that there was certain things that I was eating, like soda, candy, and shit like that. It wasn't making me feel right. It was helping me. It was just putting me in a place physically where I didn't feel great. Like I realized that once I drunk way more water, pull back on the coffee, pull back on the alcohol, I realized like, oh, I'm not having the panic attacks as much as I used to. So those are 2 pieces of advice, and I don't know. I think that's all I got right now. What about you?
I would definitely. You took one, but I was gonna say, make sure you drink a lot of water.
A lot of water.
Health.
That's how you fight it.
Important.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm trying to tap into what I would want somebody to tell me.
Yeah, that's good.
Know that you're not alone.
You're definitely not alone.
You're not alone, and do your research on it.
Yeah.
And I started following like these anxiety pages, and I find out what works for you. Whether it is using lavender and everything, because they say lavender fights it. Whether it's using ashwagandha, whether it's using creating some type of what's that? Creating a to-do list, right?
Mm-hmm.
To avoid procrastination. Find out what works for you.
You're cooking, Billy, for real.
And because what works for Wolf doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And some things that work for me might work for Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find the people that experience it and see what they do, what helps them, and try and use it for yourself also.
Yeah.
It's all about finding the right medicine. There's no blueprint. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
It's what works for you.
Yeah. And also, I'll just say, I think the most important thing I could tell you is don't give in to it, bro. Do not give in to it. Like,
ooh, that's a good one. Don't give in.
Don't give in to it. And it's gonna feel so easy, bro. Because it's such a powerful feeling. And all you have is you and your little body. And anxiety feels bigger than your body. No, like I'm fucking 5'9". This nigga's like 6 foot, bro. It's a big difference. Like
I'm 5'11" and a half.
Regardless, like my I'm like maybe 170 at my most, you know what I'm saying? But that's at my most. Really, I'm more like a 140, 150. His comfortable weight is 200. So it's like your bodies can be completely different. But it still is it's hard to box anxiety. Anxiety feels like the big bully that, like, no matter how big or small you are, it's always bigger than you. But like one thing that we talked about that we both agreed on that I want you to take away from this is like you need to have that thought in your mind that like not today. Like maybe it's around a group of people, whatever it is, you need to have that inside of you where it's like, nah, nigga, like that part we not doing. And I think something about that just keeps it from escalating to that top floor.
You told me that advice, and I've always told myself, not today.
Yeah, not today. Not today.
Not today. I think I have another piece of advice.
Go, yeah.
Know your triggers. Know what's triggering you, and then come up with a solution. So if you know that procrastination is your trigger, fix it. If you know eating wrong food, I mean, I'm a hypocrite right now, but if you know eating the wrong foods is part of your trigger, fix what you eat.
Yeah.
So know your triggers and how do you fix it? When there's a problem, there's a solution.
Yeah.
And that's all there is. Know your triggers.
Yeah, know your triggers. And so with that being said, this was good, bro.
Yeah, I feel like I'm halfway. Oh.
I mean, we are, bro. We are.
You know, clouds. Where we going?
Listen, if you like this episode, if it brought any value to you, please rate, review, leave a comment, please share. Do all the good things, man. We need all the love that we can get over here. Please go find my good friend. His name is Billy. He has a great podcast called 25 and Over Club. It's a deep catalog of shit over there. They got celebrities over there. They got high-profile people over there. They got great solo episodes over there.
We got you over there.
I'm over there.
He comes every once in a while.
That's them. I'm on the pod too, like dead ass.
He's out there.
It's great episodes over there. So please go support my friend. And, we're going to get out of here. But before we do, you already know the spirit of the brand. This is the outro. Whenever I'm working, I will remember that done is better than perfect. This is good for my anxious people. Whenever I'm working, I will remember that done is better than perfect. And if I'm satisfied with my work, then that means that I'm living in my purpose. And that's it. We out of here.
Halfway up.
Halfway up.